Here's something that's going to blow your mind. That woman who's been acting distant, the one who takes forever to text back, the one who seems hot and cold, yeah, she might actually be falling for you harder than you think. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. Most guys interpret female behavior through their own emotional lens, and that's where everything goes wrong. They see her pulling back and immediately think she's not interested or she's playing games. So they either start chasing desperately or they walk away completely. But what if I told you there's one behavior, and I'm talking about something 97% of men read as total rejection, that's actually the clearest sign she's emotionally invested in you? I'm going to reveal exactly what that is in just a minute. But first, you need to understand why you've been reading the signals completely wrong. Because once you get this, everything shifts. You'll stop overthinking, you'll stop seeking validation, and you'll finally recognize when you've already won her over, even if she hasn't said it out loud yet. This isn't some hopeful fantasy. This is about understanding real psychology, the kind most dating advice completely ignores. So let's break down the truth about what's really going on when she pulls away. Let me paint a picture you've probably experienced. She takes hours, sometimes days, to respond to your messages. When you ask her out, she's busy or gives you a maybe. And when you're actually together, she acts almost too casual, like she's purposely keeping things surface level. And what does your brain do with that information? It fills in the blanks. She's not into me. I'm wasting my time. I should probably just move on. But here's where it gets interesting, and this might mess with your head a little bit. A woman who genuinely doesn't care about you will never make you confused. She won't keep you guessing. She won't create anxiety. She won't occupy space in your mind. You know what she'll do? She'll just disappear, clean cut. No mixed signals, no emotional residue. Because true indifference doesn't create drama, it creates silence. But that woman who does make you anxious, the one keeping you up at night wondering where you stand, something completely different is happening there. And understanding this difference changes everything. And hey, if this is already making sense to you, go ahead and hit that like button. Because what I'm about to show you next completely flips conventional dating advice on its head. Here's what most guys never learn about attraction. Men and women operate on completely different emotional timelines. When a man is interested, his instinct is simple: move forward, pursue, lean in. Pretty straightforward, right? But when a woman becomes deeply interested, especially on an emotional level, her first instinct often isn't to move closer. It's to protect herself. Why? Because emotional investment creates vulnerability. And vulnerability, that feels dangerous. Think about it from her perspective. The more she likes you, the more she has to lose. The more real you become in her life, the more power you have to hurt her. So instead of running toward you, her nervous system sometimes does the exact opposite. She creates distance. She slows things down. She tests your stability, not to manipulate you, but to see if you're actually real and consistent. And this is the exact moment where most men completely fail. They mistake self-protection for rejection. They interpret emotional walls as disinterest. And they walk away right when she was starting to let them in. So the question becomes, how do you know the difference? How do you tell if she's invested or actually just wasting your time? That's exactly what these next 8 signs will show you. And I'm warning you, one of them is so counterintuitive, you might think I'm exaggerating. But stay with me, because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. First major sign: she remembers everything you tell her. And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff. I'm talking about the tiny, forgettable details. That story about your childhood dog, your favorite late-night snack, the coworker who annoyed you that one time. Things you barely remember mentioning yourself. When a woman is emotionally invested, she doesn't just hear you. She's recording you. She's building this mental database of who you are, what matters to you, what makes you tick. If she brings up something you mentioned 3 weeks ago in passing, that's not coincidence. That's attention fueled by genuine emotional connection. And here's the key: she doesn't do this for every guy, only the ones living rent-free in her mind. This one frustrates guys more than anything else. She says she's busy when you suspect she's not. She acts like she doesn't care if you're talking to other women. She throws these subtle challenges your way. Most guys think, if she actually liked me, why would she make this so difficult? Here's the reality. She's not testing your interest. She already knows you're interested. What she's testing is your emotional stability. She wants to know, can you stay calm when things aren't perfect? Are you confident without constant reassurance? Do you actually see her as a person, or are you just chasing validation? And here's what most men miss. The intensity of her tests usually reflects how deeply she's starting to feel. A woman who doesn't care won't bother testing you. She'll just fade away. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We're diving deep into relationship psychology every week, and you don't want to miss what's coming. If her friends know your name, what you do, your story, you've already entered her inner world. Women don't talk about men they don't care about. If her friends have discussed you, analyzed you, formed opinions about you, you're already significant in her life. And here's an interesting twist. If her friends suddenly seem cold or guarded around you, that can actually be a positive sign. It often means she's told them she has real feelings for you, and now they're in protective mode. They're watching you closely because she's already emotionally invested. All right, this is where things get controversial, but stick with me. She snaps over small things. She seems genuinely hurt when you don't text back quickly. There's visible tension when you mention other women, even casually. Most men panic when this happens. They think they're doing something wrong or that she's being dramatic. But here's the psychological truth. Emotion equals investment. Indifference is quiet and calm. Emotion, whether it's frustration, jealousy, or even anger, means you actually matter to her. Now, I'm not saying accept toxic behavior, but understand the difference between someone who's emotionally dysregulated because they care versus someone who's genuinely trying to control you. And there's one specific emotional reaction that men misinterpret more than any other. I'll reveal that one in just a moment. One night, she shares something deeply personal with you. Maybe about her past, her fears, something vulnerable. Then the next day, she's distant, cold even. She lets you in, then immediately pulls away. This isn't manipulation or game playing. This is fear. She revealed something real, something that made her feel exposed. And now she's retreating to protect herself from that vulnerability. Think of it as an emotional vulnerability hangover. The bigger the pullback, the more she revealed than she originally intended to. That fear, it only exists when someone genuinely cares about the outcome. She notices when you post on social media. She notices when you don't. She asks subtle questions about where you were or who you were with. Her attention is locked on you, even when she's pretending it's not. And here's something that might surprise you. If she suddenly stops watching your stories or liking your posts, don't immediately panic. Sometimes that actually means she's trying to emotionally regulate because she's in deeper than she wants to be. She's creating distance to protect herself from catching even stronger feelings. This is the big one, the moment that makes most men give up completely. You have an amazing date, deep conversation, real chemistry. Maybe there's emotional or even physical intimacy. Then suddenly, distance. She gets cold. Every guy immediately thinks, she regrets it, she lost interest, I messed everything up. But here's the truth that changes everything. When a woman goes cold after genuine closeness, it's often because the connection felt too real. She's not running from you. She's running from the fact that you could actually hurt her, that you've gotten past her walls. So she pulls back to regain control, to see if the feeling fades, to test whether you'll stay grounded or start chasing desperately. This is where 97% of men fail. They either chase harder, which confirms her fear that you're needy, or they disappear entirely, which confirms her fear that you were never really solid. Both reactions validate her worst fears. And if you're finding value in this, do me a favor and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. This perspective could completely change how they approach relationships. Here's the ultimate sign that cuts through all the confusion. Despite the push and pull, despite all the mixed signals, she doesn't actually vanish. She still responds to your messages. She still shows up. She stays connected to you in some way. A woman who's truly done disappears completely. No explanation needed. She's just gone. But a woman who's invested, she finds reasons to stay in your orbit, even when it feels complicated. That cycle of pulling back, then reaching out again, that's the pattern of someone who's falling while actively trying not to. Now comes the most critical part, because understanding these signs means absolutely nothing if you respond the wrong way. Here's what you need to do. First, stay consistent. Don't mirror her emotional swings. Be predictably solid. Same energy, same calm, same confidence, whether she's warm or distant. Consistency doesn't mean being available 24/7. It means emotional stability. Second, give her space without disappearing. Space isn't the same as silence. It's the absence of pressure. Let things develop naturally without forcing them. Real security is built through time, not force. Third, don't take her distance personally. She's processing emotions, not rejecting you. When you don't punish her for pulling back, you become different from every other man she's encountered. That's when real trust starts forming. Fourth, keep building your life. Your entire purpose cannot be decoding her behavior. The most attractive thing you can possibly do is be genuinely fulfilled with or without her in your life. And here's the paradox that most men never understand. The less you seek her validation, the more she naturally wants to give it. Look, understanding female psychology isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about recognizing that people protect themselves when they have something real to lose. If she's showing these signs, especially that seventh one about going cold after connection, chances are she's more invested than you realize. She's just scared. Your job isn't to convince her or chase her. It's to be the stable, grounded presence that makes her feel safe enough to stop running. If this video gave you a new perspective, make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment letting me know which sign hit home for you. We're building a community of men who actually understand relationship dynamics, and I want you to be part of it. Remember, her pulling away doesn't always mean she's pulling away from you. Sometimes she's pulling away from her own fear of how much you're starting to matter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.